So anyway, this is our last night in Yellowstone National Park. We arrived Monday, and we are checking out Saturday morning. So anyway, we had a really nice time in Yellowstone. Again, we've been up here since Monday. We liked a lot of the places. Are there any favorite places you liked, Ron?
I liked the upper and lower falls. It was so dramatic and so much volume of water coming over it and the rumbling sound. That was a spectacular.
That was a pretty favorite place.
And we saw it from a lot of different angles. We went to the North Rim, the South Rim, and it was very beautiful. And the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, it was just awesome. I mean, every place here is just beautiful. It's beyond belief. This is one of a kind.
No, I agree with you 100% on that, Ron. I think probably one of the most spectacular places that we went to was the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. Mm-hmm. And we took all the different vantage points that were available to see it. It was unbelievable. I also really liked the prismatic pools. That was a great area.
Yes, that was good.
The Norse Basin, that was a jaw-dropper also. I don't think there's anything in Yellowstone that doesn't make you feel like in awe.
And the meadows we saw today.
Oh.
Going south, they were just beautiful.
Oh yeah, my
bison grazing. We saw a little small baby bison and his mama, and it was just. It goes on for miles and miles of meadows
and the herds of elk up in the distance. That area there, going from Canyon all the way up to Fishing Bridge. Oh my God, what beautiful scenery. Once you get about 2/3 of the way to Fishing Bridge, you see nothing but the most gorgeous prairies. Oh my God, and the Yellowstone River follows you all the way down the Fishing Bridge. That Yellowstone River is unbelievable. It's majestic.
It's so big, and that's what's going over those waterfalls. 750,000 gallons a second. That's incredible.
That really is an incredible amount of water. The prairies that we've seen going all the way to Fishing Bridge are unsurpassed by anything that I personally have ever seen. It's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. The country, Yellowstone is really beautiful. It's majestic.
The only place on earth like this. So this is a one of a kind. People come from all over the world to see it.
It is. I mean, where else are you going to see all of the geysers and the mud pots and the huge waterfalls, where you're going to be inside of a caldera, one of the largest volcanoes in the world.
Super volcanoes.
And do you realize if this volcano ever decided to erupt, it would destroy this whole planet? We would have enough ash covering this whole planet where we could not grow any food or crops for 5 years. If this volcano, the super volcano Yellowstone, ever erupted, it'd be the end of life as we know it.
Yeah, but it's not predicted on the worst case scenario, for 1,000 years.
Scientists and geologists, they predict that it won't happen again for maybe 1,000 years to 10,000 years. Other speculators think it might happen in 20,000 years. So they say it won't be in our lifetime, it won't be in our children's lifetime, it won't be in our grandchildren's lifetime. Good God, who's going to be around in 1,000 years? We don't know. But anyway...
we might have even left this planet by now.
Either way, it's really awe-inspiring. So basically what the forest rangers tell the people that come here every year, they tell them, because of that information, enjoy Yellowstone. Enjoy everything that it has to offer. It is safe at this time. That's what the scientists and the geologists do believe. So be sure to come out and see Yellowstone. If you haven't seen Yellowstone, oh my God, please put it on your bucket list, because it is truly a sight to behold. Anyway, me and Ron are sitting here talking. Again, this is our closing night in Yellowstone. We arrived on Monday, and we are checking out Saturday morning. And I'll tell you, we drove a lot. We went from well, our first
Madison to, first we went down the southern route through the upper and lower and mid geyser to Old Faithful, and then the next day we went up to see the waterfalls at Yellowstone Upper and Lower Falls. And the third day, I don't even. Oh, the third day we went to Norris, and we stopped and picnicked along the river, and Lorraine did an oil painting. And today we drove down to Fishing Bridge up by the canyon and back down south, and we saw quite a lot. There's other places to explore, but that's maybe for next time.
Did we do 2 days going down south, or did we do one?
Oh, just one today.
Okay, because there was one day we did the prismatic pools.
That's all the way on the way to Old Faithful.
The mid basin.
Midway and the lower.
Either way, we lost track. We've got it on our map, and what we've done is we highlighted everything with felt pen for where we ended up going. Each day we planned a different route so we can get around the whole valley, and we did complete the whole circle of Yellowstone. So, you know, for 5 nights that we stayed here, we seen a lot. We found some really cool places that we just did turnouts on, parked half the day.
Yeah, one we noticed after we turned in, no RVs, auto only. And we came to this Cascades, and it was like, oh my gosh, is this going to be a 4-wheel drive? There was big boulders and a little narrow place. Well, we made it through and stopped at this beautiful little stream. No one around, had our lunch, and very private back in there. So a lot of the turnouts are really nice, but I think they meant no large motorhomes. Ours is a little van. We made it through fine. I was just a little nervous that it could have got worse and 4-wheel drives only or something.
Well, we both got a little bit nervous. We did go through one hairy section that it was like, oh my God, if it's going to be like this for the next mile, it might be like the end of the road to Hana. Really frightening. Anyway, we got past it and we ended up having a good time. But we found another place that we really liked, and that was yesterday. And it was,
Gibbons Meadows.
Oh, it was called Gibbons Meadows. On the way back from the canyon to Madison campground, and we ended up pulling off at this place called Gibbons Meadows. We
Picnic
ended
area.
up spending hours there.
And Lorraine did a painting there, and me and Rocky went in the water in the stream. It was just really delightful.
And we met a few people there. We met a couple from Florida, and we met some other people there. And, you know, when you start talking to these people and stuff, next thing you know, the hours are going by, and they're talking about their rigs. We're talking about our rigs. We talk about the travels that we've done. And, my God, wonderful people, wonderful time. But, boy, I'll tell you, we found such a fabulous place. I love Gibbons
Meadows.
Gibbons Meadows.
Picnic area.
What a beautiful place on the river. Filled
Just
up.
a little turn off the road, and it's right along this river, Gibbons River.
Oh, yeah. And
And it's beautiful, nice shallow. You can wade it. Our little rat terrier was standing in the middle, and it was only up to his chest, so I carried him out there to the middle of the stream.
And then they had these huge water lilies out there in different spots that had huge yellow flowers on them in the middle of a forest on this beautiful calm river. And it's like, holy smokes, where in the hell are we? I mean, it was just gorgeous. Anyway, it was a delightful place. There were a lot of people reading up there, sitting by the river. I was painting. Other people set up their hammocks, and they were just relaxing, sleeping in their hammocks.
It was a very tranquil spot right by the river there, and shady. It was so peaceful and serene. That was a reflecting spot.
Yeah, it was. And you know, that's the nice thing about not just driving through Yellowstone really quick. It's like, if you have the opportunity, spend 5 or 10 days up here, because believe me, you'll keep finding all these cool isolated spots that are out of the way and out of the tourist spots that are so delightful. And it's like, oh my God, you might never want to come home. Okay, so for some more campfire stories, we traveled. My husband, Ro, whom I call, which his name is Ron, and I'm Lorraine. My hubby calls me Lo. We travel with our little rat terrier. He's 24 pounds.
And he's called Little Ro.
He's a Little Ro. And he's 24 pounds, and he's a rat terrier. And he's really a good little guy to travel with. You know, we really enjoy traveling with him. When you go to state parks, it's...
National parks, dogs are not allowed most places.
That's true.
All of the trails, not allowed. But one of us stays with the dog and walks him around, has a little cool drink, and the other one goes and explores the trail, and then we take turns. And it's worked really well. I mean, although we don't get to see it together, which would be ideal, but sometimes we can leave him for a short period of time in the van and we can go. Like last night, we went to the volcano, the ranger show, campfire presentation. That was very interesting about the volcanoes. But he was fine. He was in bed, and the cooler was going, so he was fine.
And it was nighttime already,
Yeah.
so the van stayed temperature controlled, really, really nice for him. And by the time the show started at like 9:30 at night, which is a little bit late for us. But anyway, that's Rocky's bedtime, so we put him to bed, and we got back around 10:30, 10:45. Anyway, so we've gotten really used to traveling with our little Rocky. We're like 3 peas in a pod, so we do make sacrifices traveling with a dog. But the nice thing is that we're together, the 3 of us.
And I think he's enjoying it because he's smelled things that he's never smelled before and probably never will. Bisons and elk and moose and who knows what else. Woozles and...
and, you know...
Effluents. Lions and tigers and bears, oh no.
And you know, it's funny. Every time that van door opens, he hops right in, hops between our captain's chairs in the van, and he lies down in his little bed there, and he's like ready to roll. And he can tell when we're on a long freeway ride or just a long, consistent ride, because he'll just sleep the whole way.
Yeah,
and
he takes naps when he can.
Yeah, and as soon as we stop, he's wide awake, and he's ready to go out and explore. So when me and Ron go to see different scenic sites, Ron usually lets me go first, so I'll go and do all my videos and that sort of thing, and do my sightseeing, and then we bring our walkie-talkies so we can communicate constantly. And then I come back, and then I'll take care of Rocky, and Ron will go and do his photography for Ron's photo gallery for our videos that we show on YouTube. And anyway, it works out really well, you know. And
it's fun waiting at the RV. You have the door open, you got your refrigerator, your cold drinks, your food, and nice cool air. watching all the people walk by. So it's fun to stay and wait. So I really enjoy it, waiting. And then I can say, how is it, Lorraine? Is it worth it?
And I enjoy it too because, you know, when we're sitting in our RV, we usually leave the side door open and Rocky's sitting with us. So people always pass by and then they always start talking to us. Next thing we know, we've got a full-blown conversation going by the time either myself comes back or Ron comes back. We meet a lot of interesting people that way. It's
yes, we do.
It actually works
from all over the country.
Well. Yeah, it's actually a trip. It's pretty cool. Okay, so this is my last campfire story. I think it is for the night. We're in our campsite over in Madison Campground, and it was early in the morning. Well, not that early. Actually, it was probably around 10 o'clock in the morning. Usually in the campsite, at least here in Madison and Yellowstone, a lot of the people get up extremely early. They pack up their stuff and take off to go sightsee for the day. Me and Ron pretty much have a little bit of a slower pace. Sometimes we don't leave our spot till like 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock in the morning. By then, everybody's gone and the campsite is dead quiet. So, I went over to the picnic table and I was sitting down relaxing. It's dead quiet and I'm writing in my journal because it's my quiet time. Ron was finishing up his showering and getting ready so we can take off and explore a new adventure for the day. Next thing I know, I guess I heard a little tiny bit of rustling in the trees. A very, very delicate rustling. It was so quiet, but it was enough for me to turn my head. And when I turned my head, there were two huge female elk. They must have been about 15, 20 feet from me, and they're sitting there grazing in the grass. And it's like, I stayed quiet. Yes, my jaw dropped. Rocky was outside also with me. So I closed my journal. I grabbed it. I went to the motorhome, and then I told Ron, get Rocky in the van. So, so anyway.
Why? What's up? What is it, a bear? Well, it's only a couple of elk. So anyway, yes, Ron did that. So anyway, he's trying to pull the leash to bring Rocky in the van. So I just scooped Rocky up underneath my arm on my way into the van, brought him in, we shut the door. And then through the window we took the photographs of the elk that were meandering through our campsite. And they were huge. It was really pretty cool. And they weren't bothering anybody. They were just kind of like meandering in, grazing in the grass, because everybody in the campsite around us, they already took off. But it was I think that's when all the animals come in. After everybody leaves, it's their playground. Oh, yeah. Everybody's out in the park. This is empty. Yeah, it's empty. They walk through, pick up food or whatever. And we leave our campsite really clean. Totally. It looks like walking around, when we walk Rocky around up and down the campsites, it looks like everybody does maintain a clean site in order to keep the bears out. But yeah, it was really cool. And the elk did come back that evening, which was really nice. And I haven't seen them since. But anyway, that is our elk story. Okay, so this is the last campfire story of the night. Ron took off to go potty, and I'm out here in the dead darkness all by myself. But Ron left his flashlight, and it's on a strobing motion. Which is my babysitter. Yuck, 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 yuck. Saturday morning, and we have just left Madison Campground.
We'd been there since Monday. So now we are heading out to the Grand Tetons. So we're heading south in Yellowstone, past Old Faithful, and again we'll be heading south until we reach the Grand Tetons. See when we pass. Went through here, but this here is the Grand Prismatic Spring. Feels beautiful in there. I'm glad we did all this during the week because it's Saturday, and boy, I'll tell you what a big difference it's packed here today. Oh well.
Look at that.
That's pretty. Driving by Biscuit Basin. Okay, we are going up a pass right here. I gotta see the name of it. I don't remember if it's Craig's Pass or what.
Craig's Pass.
Yeah.
8,900.
8,900. Oh, there's the Continental Divide. The Great Continental Divide. How cool. So all of this area was the Continental Divide. We're getting our first glimpse of the Tetons. We're about 20 miles from the Grand Tetons. We will be heading into our next spot for tonight. We will be staying in the Grand Tetons. Our first place for tonight is called Headwaters Lodge Campgrounds. That's where we're staying tonight. We're still about 7,800 feet in elevation right now. And I think we finally left the Continental Divide. You can see snowy mountains in the distance. Way to the Grand Tetons. We are cruising through southern Yellowstone right now. Okay, so we just left the south entrance of Yellowstone National Park, and we are staying 2 miles south of the Yellowstone south entrance at Headwaters. Let's see, Headwaters Lodge and Cabins.